Later on going into politics, that will be addressed. The filmmaking took about 2.5 years. I started filming sometime around 2013, 14, and I filmed over 2 years, editing throughout this period. And one of the advantages that I found in working on a documentary, that when I come second, third time to the same interviews, the novelty of the camera seems to be less meaningful, and people are more relaxed and more open to engage in a conversation. At the same time, I must add that when I met all the individuals that appear on the screen, and many others that did not make it in the last cut, I made it very clear that I personally object to certain enterprise, and as the conversation continued, you figure out what they do by objecting. But I did not want to take any commentary from the settlers, any part of the dialogue without their knowing that I'm coming from a very distinct political point of view. And I thought that on one hand it will give the freedom to use whatever they say without thinking that I stole something from somebody. On the other hand, provided, I think, some positive ground to the beginning of a conversation, so that would be self-help. Throughout making of the film, there are a few issues that we take into. There were a few issues that I was asking myself as a filmmaker how to deal with. One of them was, what do you do when the subject is so much in the news, and people are very familiar with various aspects of this topic. They are always extremely opinionated, and on one hand you want to address elements that are somewhat familiar, on the other you do not want to compete with the news. And I tried a few elements throughout making of the film. I may address maybe two of them and then move on to other topics. At the very beginning of the film, if you remember, that was 2.5 years ago, a green screen. When I asked a group of some settlers, are you settler? And in the background, for some of them there was a green screen. For some of them, we saw part of the screen in the background that was replaced. It was replacing the green screen, but you still saw the poles that were holding this fabric behind the interview. And on some of them, you did not see anything. So is it the green screen or is it the real wall? Well, it's maybe a self-perception that I try to engage in, but for me it was in a way an invitation for everyone who comes to see the film to bring his own green screen and apply into the film, into the topics that the film raises, into the reality that is on the screen, his own perceptions, his own views. So that was a kind of welcome into a political film where everyone probably is opinionated. Another element was I tried to, when I said stay away from the news, and there are several narratives that I choose not to use stock footage, but to use some illustrations. And if any of you saw What's with Bashir, did anyone saw the film What's with Bashir? 2, 3, 5. That's it. If you did not see that, run home and watch it. It's a wonderful film. However, the animator of What's with Bashir, David Polonsky, is the person that the illustration works in this. And what I try to do is when someone shows telling a story, how she buried her infant baby that she buried in the ancient cemetery of Rome. And towards the end of the film, another story when the Fogel family was murdered in the settlement of Tamar. So those two and some others, I choose not to use archival footage, which was somewhat available to me, but I went to separate it from reality as far as it could be. And again, this is one of the points where I try to stay away from reality, from television, etc., and hopefully to give it more of a mythological dimension, which is in effect the way how many of the settlers live their life. And as a reflection of that, there are mostly of those religious ideologically driven, many of them believe that they live another chapter in the Bible. And somehow to reinforce this concept, we've noticed these 9 chapters, and each chapter starts with an image. There is some movement within the image itself, very soft, almost unseen, several plates of images, but the style of the drawings there were in the style of a French artist named Gustave Doré. If any of you know his work, but if you don't know his name, I'm quite confident that you did see his images. He wrote in the mid-1800s, and about 150 different editions of the Bible are illustrated with his woodcarving illustrations. I suspect that many of you know the image of David holds the head of Goliath above his head, Goliath, or Samson pushing the pillars of the Gaza temple. Now, all those are images that become classics of Western civilization to some degree. So I thought if I use that, that would. So I asked the Ripolsky to give me for every chapter. I picked up an image from the chapter itself, and by creating this image at the beginning, possibly, probably, hopefully, it will somehow allude to the biblical dimension of the story that we are watching. And the value of that, for me, is, of course, it's aesthetic, but beyond that, I thought that it would give us some indication of the way that those extremist settlers see themselves. My last comment is that most of the settlers that are on the screen belong to this group of ideologically religiously driven. But their number is no more than about 20% of the entire population of about 400,000, 410,000 settlers in the West Bank. The vast majority, more than 80% of them, are there for economical reasons, quality of life, economical reasons, solution to housing, etc. And this is not acceptable, of course. The governments of Israel in recent decades has systematically are pushing population into those contexts. And now your turn. Questions, please, or comments? Yes, sir. Please wait for the microphone.
Do you think?
Please wait for the microphone.
Do you think that Israel has achieved an advantage by populating the West Bank? And aren't they mostly religious? In the film, it looked like they were mostly religious people.
So the second part of the question is here. Most of them are actually, there are a good number of them are religious, but it would be inaccurate to say that most of them are religious. Because, as I mentioned before, I choose to focus on those who are religiously, ideologically driven, because they are the ones who are calling the shots. They are the ones who are driving this locomotive. And the others who are there for economical reason, that some of them on the screen are individuals that is so pleased to have this big villa, this beautiful house that costs him a third, that costs him to have half of it in Jerusalem. There are many of that. So the majority, I say, are not religious, but those who are driving this enterprise are more on the religious ideological side. Yet, at the same time, there is a very large number of religious Jew, Orthodox Jews, that are not territorialists. And they are there because the state provided them a city. If any of you visited Israel in recent years, a city like Beitar Elite, which is south of Jerusalem, about 20 kilometers or less. It's the entire city of 60,000 are Orthodox religious Jews, and they will tell you every time that you ask them, they couldn't care less about where they are living. They are there for one only reason, it is because they can keep a community together. If they would have the choice, they would prefer to live in Iraq or Jerusalem. But the cost of housing there will not enable them to do so. As for the first part of your question, I think that the presence of Israelis in the West Bank is terribly detrimental to the state of Israel. So much so that, in my view, they pose a threat to the very existence of the state of Israel. Israel, with this population in the West Bank, in effect erased its border. The West Bank is not a part of Israel, not legal and definitely not illegal. Israel had a border that, until 1967, we know what the borders were. Following a treaty with Egypt, Israel withdrew from the Sinai Peninsula. Because of the presence of the settlement that started without ever being a strategic plan of the state of Israel, it started, as you remember from the beginning of the film, almost as without much intention. When the Eshkol, the Prime Minister in 1967, was asked, okay, let the children play. And what we have today is not only that Israel is present in the West Bank, and because of that, in the midst of 2.8 million Palestinians, we have two sets of law that apply to two populations that are separated by ethnicity, nothing else. And you can call it any name you want, but democracy does not rule in this part of the world. The other thing which is terribly detrimental, that we have disregard to the law. When you have infiltration of religion into politics, it's a terrible divorce from democracy in many ways. So I will elaborate on that later if the question comes up, but that will be my answer to you. So, yes.
So I agree with you certainly that it's definitely a threat to the existence of Israel.
Please, bring it closer to your mouth, so
So I agree with you certainly that it's a threat to the existence of Israel. I also agree with Itzhak Rabin in your documentary that it could be a cancer and be very detrimental. From your 2.5 years of researching and doing this movie, have you thought of potential solutions to containing this threat, or how do you feel? You seem a lot more, of course, knowledgeable. So, what kind of thoughts do you have on containing it?
Well, I'm not a politician. I am a filmmaker, a scholar, whatever you call it. But the solution is very simple. The implication is extremely complicated, on the verge of impossible. And the solution is two states, one Jewish, one Arab. You heard my voice at the beginning of the film. In 1947, there was a partition plan, and that was an option. Now, I know many Israelis, many Jews say, well, they did not pick it up there, it's over. You could say that, you can say that, if the territory would be vacant of others, but it is not. As I mentioned, in the West Bank, 2.8 million Palestinians. In the Gaza Strip, 2 million Palestinians, that's 4.8 million. In Israel, within the Green Line, 1.6 or so million Palestinians that are Israeli citizens. You put all this group together, and the numbers are probably equal to the Jews and Palestinians. And that will be a step backwards from Zionism. And again, I will add on that more, but I want to get more questions.
In spite of your views that this is a cancer,
Actually, sir, I did not say it's not that it's a cancer, but it was a gentleman, sir.
in spite of your ultra-liberal views that you don't think that Israel can make peace because of the settlements, I will be the dissenting voice here. I think the greatest thing that's happened is a president of the United States that supports Israeli settlements. I think this is where Israel belongs. I think that looking at the future in 50 years or 100 years is extremely difficult for modern Jews. Lots of other populations in the world do not have that problem. They understand that time will pass. Egypt's been around for thousands of years. Maybe not quite the same Egypt, but they've been around. We have survived as a Jewish people for 5,000 years. You may not choose to believe that there is a greater power, but you did demonstrate, and I have to thank you, you did demonstrate that there are non-Jewish, huge non-Jewish populations in the United States that are extraordinarily supportive of Israel, of these settlements, very much against the European Union's objections, very much against the divestiture program. So I think you did as balanced a job as is possible with your views, and I appreciate that.
And thank you for your comment. I just add two more sentences. I did not attempt to make a political pamphlet. I do believe that my political point of view is present in the film, but I, of course, deliberately try not to make a political pamphlet and to open the discussion for everyone, whoever agrees with my point of view, whoever does not, and that hopefully some of that comes to the screen. As for the God Almighty and His political affairs, I think that we have to be separating between state and religion. And religion has no business in state, and state has no business between God and the man. And what happened in the state of Israel after 1967, in massive part because of the settlement enterprise, is that we are witnessing a dramatic infiltration of religion into politics. The Zionist movement, from its inception, was a secular movement, and it came to be for one and only one purpose, is to provide safe haven to persecuted Jews. That was the vision that Theodor Herzl started with. The first Zionist Congress in 1897 in Basel, that was the leading motif of this Congress, and that's what Zionism was all the way until 1967. And it was always a pragmatic movement, that was its aspiration. At no point in time, Zionism aspired to fulfill biblical prophecies or to hasten the arrival of the Messiah. This is God's business, it's not man's business. And today we have, I'd say, in the state of Israel, and among many Jews, people that believe that it is business, and I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, but most definitely you have a vast body of Jews in Israel and around the world that object to that interpretation of the Promised Land. Furthermore, in the Bible, we have at least three very different descriptions of the Promised Land, of the Promised Border. So which one are we going to kill and be killed for? First, second, third? So it's more complex than that. And because of that, in my view, you should take the Bible as a spiritual document, not as a roadmap for a political presence on the land. I would appreciate that. I'd be happy to talk to you after. I don't want to cover. Okay, so let's just hear other look. Over here.
Thank you so much for such a thoughtful film. I have a two-part question. The first, I'm interested in hearing more about the triangle that was illustrated at the end, and I feel that we hear a lot about this dichotomy between Israel having to choose between Jewishness and democracy, but it's always something that's presented as down the line, or you will have to choose, and I'm wondering if you think that there's a line that's already been crossed or in a way been decided. And the second question is if you could talk a little bit about how Israelis within the Green Line are viewing the settlers, the 20% that you focus on.
Yeah. As for the first part of the question, the triangles that Persico is presenting towards the end of the film, it's a, I would like to say, a well-known triangle. And this triangle has three, angles. triangle. Yeah, I don't explain. One is the aspiration of the whole land of Israel, meaning the West Bank, let's say for now. Let's forget the Nile that the victim of Gabriel. That we call the whole land. Another angle would be democracy. One of the very strong and central tenets of Zionism and of the Israeli Declaration of Independence that Ben-Gurion read in a beautiful manner when he declared the emergence of the state of Israel. So that's democracy. And I can share with you my personal belief, and I don't think that many can bring a strong argument against that in the absence of democracy, Israel as a state has no existence. Most definitely has no legitimacy, and it will lose the core of its population that built it in the first place. So democracy is Jewish is because only if it will be a Jewish state and not a religious state, and I know this is a very tricky definition. And we all live through it. We, I mean, Jews, Israelis, Israeli Jews. How do you define a state which is a secular entity by it being Jewish? So the simple way to put it is, as long as you have a majority of Jews living in the state, it will be a Jewish state. The moment that it's a majority of others, or Jews are not a majority, it's not a Jewish state. So these are the three angles of the triangle. What Persico explains that at any point in time, only two out of the three can exist. Either it will be Jewish and democratic. For that to happen, Israel has to pull back from the West Bank, meaning not to swallow in its midst 2.8 million Palestinians. So then we're going back roughly to the 1967 borders. The other option is to keep the whole land and keep it Jewish. For that, we need to impose an apartheid. We need to separate so the Palestinians will not have a vote in this state. The third one, when you make it whole and democratic, then you are losing the Jewish majority. So this is a conflict of the three. There was another question. Yes, I would say that the Israeli population is divided. It's hard to bring a statistic. It's actually probably half and half. Half within Israel are opposing the settlement, see it as a detrimental entity for various reasons, but it's not only because they prevent any progress in a peace agreement with Palestinians, which in my view is the first interest of any government that is in power in Israel. And the other is, people talk about security of issues like that, which I don't know, maybe I can add to that later, but let's see more questions. Over there, please.
Hi.
Yes.
Thank you for a great film, and particularly for homing in on focusing on presenting this as a subgroup of people who really are living in an altered reality, who are isolated from the mainstream and are having a much larger impact on Israeli society than their numbers should warrant, and really having a larger impact on the world and world politics than we really should, because we're a very small group. But thank you for that, because that altered reality is what I would have to call Jewish fundamentalism, and I'm Jewish, and I equate it with Islamic fundamentalism. Some people, Jews might not like that, and Christian fundamentalism. It has similar tenets, and I look at the murder of Yitzhak Rabin, resulted from those thoughts, and the Israeli went into, was that where he shot the people praying.
Yeah, Baruch Goldstein. Okay.
Right. You see, to me, those are acts of terrorism. No different. And I know some would be uncomfortable with that, but that's my perception of it. And I wonder, and the American Jewish Committee, is my understanding, is pretty much against the settlements. Majority. It's split, but it's majority. And again, probably runs along with, degree of, orthodoxy. Would you agree with that?
The Orthodox actually are against territorialism. They are even against the very existence of the State of Israel for the reason that this is God's calling, it's not man's calling. And the State of Israel was created by man. One can say God helped him, and they're not trying to interpret that, but you know very well, sure, that many Orthodox Jews do not accept. But just take your question, take your opportunity to go back to the separation of religion and state. What the settlement enterprise did, and all the atmosphere, the thought process that followed, that disregarded the law, the placing of religion at the centerpiece of politics. We have on the screen Professor Moshe Halbertal that expresses quite eloquently. So when you involve religion in politics, when a government does a mistake, it's not a mistake, it commits a sin. Once a government commits a sin, it loses its legitimacy. Once it loses its legitimacy, then force becomes an inevitable instrument into the political discourse. And that's exactly what led to the assassination of Yitzhak Rabin. And that's exactly where the division among Israelis can evolve even further than it is now. And those who follow closely the affairs of Israel can see the terrible attack on human rights movement. Human rights organization in many circles in Israel today is a bad word. They are completely attacked not just by mobs on the street, by the government, by the prime minister, the organization B'Tselem. I don't suspect many of you are familiar with, or Breaking the Silence. There are, genuine human rights activists that they act out of a real concern and terrible care for the state of Israel. And they are vilified and that's terrible. And this is an inevitable evolution, because this reality is not one that is static. And we hear the hilltop youth, which are just another generation, much less educated, much less sophisticated than the founding fathers, but you can hear their voices, you can see the way they are thinking. Yes, please. No. You guys decide. Okay, so a moment, just please go ahead.
Thank you for the film. We didn't really know what to expect coming in, and when I walked by the theater a few days ago, I just saw the title Settlers and a picture of a man in tefillin davening or praying. I'm just curious how you decided upon the title Settlers, how you chose out the cover photo. I know you said you didn't want it to be a political pamphlet, but you do display, a religious Jew, and you convey that it's all settlers, but you really focus on the 20%. So I'm just curious why the title Settlers, without any further explanation, and why that photo?
The title Settlers was very clear to me from the very beginning. So that's the subject I want to explore in this film, and it rang right to me. So I cannot say that. And of course, it's not all the settlers. And of course, it's a biased representation of reality, and I will be the first to admit that. But I will also add that I do not believe that there is such a thing as an unbiased representation. Every act of representation, by definition, is an act of reduction. And when we reduce reality to whatever fits the frame, or whatever fits 106 minutes, or whatever fits the camera, whatever, it is it's a biased activity. So I have no problem with that. So the title seems to be right. The reason I choose to do that, I looked for something iconic, something that would stay with me. And there were several options I was considering. This particular individual, his name is Yosef Ruhlman, and again, if anyone is familiar with Israel affairs, his father, Rabbi Menachem Ruhlman, was a great coexistence believer. he lived in Tkoa, in a settlement in the southern part of Judea. It's called the south of Jerusalem, about 30 kilometers or so. And he would always meet Palestinian neighbors, he would pray with them, etc. Now, he passed away 2 years or 3 years ago. I did not have a chance to film him. But Yosef, his son, a rabbi as well, he is as pure, as whole as one can be. I was really enamored by him. And he is the least territorial individual one can think of. He lives there, says, I'm not. If I be asked to leave, I leave. I be sad, but I will leave. I know. He says it towards the end of the film, and I had some hard time to fit him in there because his voice is very outstanding. It's not the norm. He says the land is not mine. I'm a visitor. And so is my neighbor from the Palestinian village. It's God's land, and as long as we have it, we're his guests. It's a sentiment that does exist, but it's quite minor. It's not much present. Anyway, because of my affection to him and the visuals, I thought it was memorable. It's up, but it's not out anymore. The new movie is already over. Yes, sir. Just please wait for the speaker.
I lived in Netanya for a number of years, and there was only 8 miles to the border. Big security issue. And I believe it's not all blame to be put on Israel. The Palestinians will not make peace. And they say that they want the whole thing, not just the West Bank. So you have a very great security issue there. And if Israel wants to expand into the West Bank somewhat, I think that's justified because the borders are just too narrow, right in the middle of the country. What is your opinion on that?
Yes, I fully agree with you. All the facts that you describe are absolutely accurate. It's really a very narrow waste. Less than 15 kilometers from the Mediterranean, from Netanya to the border. Now, I'm not saying it has to stay like that. And the two-state solution actually can take that into consideration as well. Israel is today, just to go to the security issue, Israel is today one of the strongest militaries in the world. It's a very strong economy. It has extremely powerful brain power. The only thing that is lacking is to keep this brain power in a peaceful living condition in the state of Israel. And the way to do that is to come to some kind of agreement with the people who live in this land. You know, it's not a far away population or territory. It's in their midst. And in the absence of such a reconciliation, the problems will never end. And if you only think about the personal prize that every young Israeli boy or girl are going through a military service, it's very different today than it was 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when we had, so to speak, enemy states, Egypt, Jordan, even Syria, which is not threat to Lebanon. Today, being an Israeli soldier, it means to go and be a police force in a dilapidated neighborhood of Ramallah, of Hebron, etc. And individuals who go through this phase do not come out great fan of the Zionist idea of the state of Israel. Because you see, and if you saw the gatekeepers, it's not by accident that all the heads of the Israeli military are by far more, in the absence of the better word, more leftists than the politicians, than the populists, because they know the ground, the material of the ground, and there are not two ways about it. Now, all the security issues can be addressed, and no one says that Israel should withdraw from all the West Bank overnight and give the keys to Abbas, and that's it. We can spread it over 10 years, over 50 years. We can have a confederation, live in peace for 100 years or whatever we decide, then maybe do something more advanced. But at that point in time, the reality, in my view, and not only in my view, is very detrimental to the state of Israel. And we cannot not address it, and it will be sort of an intellectual junk food to go back to the arguments that were true in 1967. We're not there. It's a very different reality. Yes, over. You have to give me a sign when I bore you to death or when I have to go to bed. Something, I can keep talking. Yes, please.
I think it's great you killed. Thank you for your film. I think you did a great job. You know, well, you admittedly say bias. I think you presented your argument well. That's very good points. I think it's important just to remember that as we sit here today, we were settlers in this country at one time, and if you even look around you right now, we're surrounded by depictions of the Pilgrims settling this land. So it just, everyone should think about that as thinking about this issue, that right here in Connecticut, at one point this was settled by Europeans.
Yeah.
Many people died, and the land is forever changed for that reason.
Yeah.
But important.
I thank you for your comment, and surprisingly, I heard exactly the same comment. I was invited to present the film in the US State Department. It was big theater full with employees of the State Department, professionals. Everyone knew about the region even more than I know, and that's what I did for the last 3 years. They were very well educated, and one of the questions was, here in America, I have the same problem and resolved it. Why can't you do the same in Israel? Now, I do not know if he meant allegorically or so, but it's not going to happen. Israel is not going to do to the Palestinians what the Americans did to the Indians. It's not going to work, and it's not going to happen. And I don't have to elaborate on that. 2.8 million Palestinians were in the West Bank, Nablus, Hebron, Shechem, Jenin, Bejal, all that. They are not going anywhere. They are there for 1,000 years, and I'm afraid they will be there for another 1,000 years. Ariel Sharon had his plan, 2 plans actually. He is the one that pushed dramatically to create suburban neighborhoods close to the Green Line and then spread settlements in the West Bank just to prevent continuity to that will allow a Palestinian state. Later, when he invaded Lebanon in 1982, he had a plan with Bashir Jumail to take care of all the Palestinians and expel them to Jordan or somewhere else. It did not end well either. The world is different today, and what could be done during the Crusader years or could be done in other wars, in recent wars, cannot be done today. Furthermore, you do not want to do to the other what you are not very happy when it was done to you.
I have a question. I'm sitting here thinking of what's going on in France right now and in other parts of the European Union. What impact do you think this growing nationalism and right-wing politics in Europe will have on the future of Israel?
Well, it's not good. It's not good in the sense that we're living today in an era where a combination of new communication technology on one hand, globalization on the other hand, are providing further ground to the emergence of many advances on one hand, but to terrible populism on the other hand. And what we saw in America over the last elections, what we see in Europe, what we saw with Brexit in the UK, are trends that are present all over the world, and Israel is a part of it, of course. The stronger this trend will be, the chances that Israel will be open to a more progressive use of conflict are smaller. But the way that I see it is, this is just one brick in a big wall. No, wall is not a good wall. It's one brick in a protection that I hope will create to prevent the avalanche that is coming on us. Yes, I think that I have to thank you very much. I'm sorry, there's a question? Oh, there's a goodbye.
Yes.
Goodbye. Thank you very much. I will really talk to you.